Welcome back to my Rug Hook and Talk Show. Annette here. Excuse me, just finishing up a Madeleine. And these little guys. I baked them this morning. And I was reading the latest Victoria magazine. And it had, the teas and, all the spring baking for your tea. So Madeleine's was always like a favorite of mine. And my mom had bought me pans years ago. And they were sitting in there, probably made them about 10 years ago. So I was like, let's get out and make some Madeleines. And they came out yummy. So there's nothing good about them except the taste. There you go. So it's not healthy. Nice cup of green tea. So just hello, welcome back. If you're new, thanks for joining me. And if you're old and you've seen this before, then thank you for coming back again. So a place for solo rug hookers to connect and chit chat. And I've recently been knitting, so I'm adding some knitting into my podcast. And so for those of you who don't knit, just bear with me because I just love all things yarn, and I love yarn. Yeah, so whether I hook with it or knit with it, it's all good. So join me and settle in, grab your rug hook. If you're doing that, knit along while you're listening to the podcast and just enjoy the next 25 minutes or so. I have been rug hooking. Okay. So I have been doing the rug, but like I said, it's really hard because I've been bitten by the knitting bug, and I've been doing that. So, but it is coming along, and I have been moving forward with it, and I have gotten a lot of progress considering I'm working on a lot of other things. So I will post some pics as I do a little bit more progress on the blog, which is www.letshook.wordpress.com, something like that. I think if you Google it or you go to my Rug Hooking Daily profile page, the link is on there. And if you want to join up our little group, we have a YouTube group for the show, and it's on rughookingdaily.ning. So go ahead and join up. No membership fees and all that fun stuff. You don't none of that. So just a password and a name. Okay, let me just grab some magazines. Okay. So, I don't think I showed you the last two magazines of rug hooking, but for those of you who get them, these are the last two issues. And I apologize if I've showed you this one, because this is the spring one, and the colors are so pretty on the cover. And it comes with a pattern. It's a really nice, cute pattern if you like little goats. So that's the pattern. And there's always some interesting things in here, which I liked the little denim snippet bag. How cute is that? I mean, that's just good for a lot of things. You could put anything in it. Even if you made it a little larger, you could use it to put your rug hooks in or whatever you want to dangle that look to keep it pretty. I mean, who doesn't like to work with all that pretty fabric? But this one's just using good old denim. Who doesn't have a pair of old jeans laying around that could be done? So that is really cool. And you know what? If you don't want to hook it, put an applique of a pretty fabric that you want on there. I mean, that's as simple as could be. And there you go. You have a little snippet bag. I have a little snippet bag that I purchased with a bunch of rug hooking stuff a long time ago, and this is what that one looks like. Again, it's just a little bag, and I guess this is a little weight in here, or a ceramic tile. You could do either or. Put a little piece of ceramic tile. It's kind of heavy, and it just hangs. I keep it in my drawer, and I shut the drawer so it doesn't fall off, because sometimes I've knocked it down. It slides. I think if you're going to do this, what would be smart, and I'm just saying, is to put a little of the rug grip over here or puffy paint. It keeps it from sliding off of things that, if you have a table with a tablecloth on it, then fine. But if your table is like mine and there are no tablecloths but placemats, this tend to fall. I used to knock it down constantly, so the snippets would go all over, and really it wasn't helping me at all. So so yes, in the spring, March, April, May 2016, you have the snippet bag directions in there, and that's really nice. And okay, let me show you what else. This was the January, February issue. Not sure if I showed it, but again, in here are some lovely, lovely things. They did slippers, which I thought were cool. So again, apologize if I've showed it, but I hate to miss on those. If you don't subscribe to Rug Hooking, excuse me, bending, you should, because it's a really fun magazine. It's grown from what it was in the very beginning and kind of gotten a little bit more modernized and fun, and it has it adds in other things that connect to rug hooking. So I think you'd like it, and it's fun. And for those of you who know, I've been starting knitting. I'm just going to show you some stuff that I've been doing. But before I do that, I discovered Willow Yarns. And Willow Yarns is really nice. It's a premium wool and acrylic, and bamboo and silk and alpaca. I mean, they have blends and stuff like that. I like working with acrylic. I know some of you may be cringing out there who knit like, ooh, why bother? Well, you know, the acrylics that they're making now are fabulous, and they're pretty, and they're strong, and they're anti-pill. So they've really come a long way, and they're super, super soft. Willow Wash acrylic is my go-to now, and my Hobby Lobby. We'll get to Hobby Lobby in a minute. I know those of you are like, eek, Hobby Lobby, but I love my Hobby Lobby. So this is Willow Wash. It comes in 3 weights. I'm just going to do this to show you all the lovely colors. Is that wonderful? So it comes in a DK. It comes in a worsted, which is what you kind of use for most hats and gloves and scarves and stuff like that, blankets. And it comes in a bulky. And it's really, really nice. I'm going to grab one because I bought some, and I'm just going to show it to you. So bear with me. I will be back. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have it here. I wasn't prepared to show you that today, but you know what? After I thought about it, like, why not? So, okay. So this is their Willow Wash. Okay. And it's the DK weight, and it's very nice. It's a nice DK. It's probably right where a DK I would think should be. And it's very, very soft. And this is an anti-pill. And it has some good yardage. It's made in Turkey. And let me get to the yardage. 273 yards for 100 grams or a 3.5 ounce skein. So I haven't used this one yet, but it's coming. So they also have a lovely line. Let me see if I can get to that. And it's called Willow Wash Daily. And, well, it's not Willow Wash. It's Willow Daily, but it is a worsted weight, and it is a super wash wool. So I call them all Willow Wash, the ones that are washable. Okay. I just want to show you all the really nice colors that it comes in. You can go online and request, here we go, get ready. You can go online and request a magazine. Okay. So this is the Willow Wash Daily. Okay. And it comes in that. That's worsted. And it is probably an average worsted weight, I would say. Maybe, well, what I would say, maybe a tad lighter than your acrylic worsted weight. But really nice and very soft. And this one comes at 218. So it's very comparable to your Superwash, your Cascade Superwash. So, you know what? And again, if I've showed these to you, which I don't remember from time to time, so because I go to a knitting group now and I also share with them. So this is comparable to your Cascade Superwash 220, but that is $6.99 and $7.99 depending on where you get it. This is $5.99, and 80 colors are available in 3 weights. You would think I work for them, but I do not, and I do not get any freebies from them. And so here's another one, and this is, believe it or not, these are worsted weights. This, I believe, is the DK. They're not too different, but anyway, okay. So that's that. That is your willow yarns, and they're wonderful. And recently I had a birthday, and I was gifted this lovely box by a friend, and first I didn't know what to put in it, and she thought I would love it, and I did. It says Live Simply, and I didn't know what to do with it. It's a lovely box, and what I like is it has this little magnetized flap, and I keep all my little knitting, looming stuff in here. So as you can see, there's space for my looms and my little hooks, and everything fits in here. I even put in my labels as I'm working on something. And so just so if you ever see these on sale, grab them, because you know what's cool? They stack. You can write a label of what they are if you want to put magazines away. So if you get them on sale, these are great. Magazines fit in here perfectly, and catalogs. Oh my gosh, I love these for my catalogs. So there you go. You can put remnants, little snippets of old yarn, little mini skeins. It's perfect. Okay, so for those of you who know, I have started my knitting, and I use a little loom, and it looks like this. And I decided to show you with something on it. Okay, so this is what the fingerless glove looks like. This is a Cindy Wood loom, and on the bottom I write my little pattern for this particular glove, which is for a 4 to 8-year-old, 4 to 9-year-old, 4 to 10-year-old, depending on, they're very stretchy, as you could see. Let me just show you. They're very stretchy. Wah, wah. There you go. So a little tiny person could fit in there, and then a larger person, larger child. So you know what? I think that age is this one is perfect for that age. So if anybody's looking to buy a loom to make fingerless gloves, and you could even do fingerless, a thumbless mitten. There is a special way to do it. I haven't put it up yet, but it's the way I do my slipper socks too. I fold over half the pegs when I'm done with little stitch markers. I hook them all up with stitch markers, fold them over, and then I do a cast off, real simple cast off, and you get a little braided cast off on the top, as opposed to the drawstring, which I just kind of don't like on feet or mittens. So I like them kind of flat so that they look more like a mitten. But anyway, that will be another podcast. So there you go. This is a Cindy Wood loom, and it's 20 pegs, and I use it for kids' gloves, and it's 5/8 inch. There you go. 5/8 inch spacing. So for those of you interested in getting a loom to make those gloves for your grandchildren, for your kids, I use a little hook like this. They'll give you a hook. It's a little different looking than this, but same thing, just a different handle. And so this is Hobby Lobby yarn. And as you can see, this one is very iridescent look. And let's see if I can get it way up there for you. The lighting is horrible here. Okay, there you go. So, and this is what the rest of this skein looks like. This one is called, this is I Love This Yarn, and it is called Brights 5001. There's 2 or 3 colors under 5001, so I don't know if they're reformatting their colors, but if you go online, I was trying to order more of this because I wanted to get more. As you can see, what I like about it is if you're going to add stripes to a solid glove or a scarf or a hat, you only need to use a portion, because they have different color runs in their colorway. So you could get 3 or 4 different color combinations from one skein, and hey, for $3.99 to get all those colorways into a scarf, if you don't want to buy separate skeins of each thing, you get it all in here. And so I'm going to show you what the colorways knit up like. Okay, so there you go. That's one. That's like a purple, a blue, pink, green, and pink. Okay, there you go. That's a good. And then it comes to a green and yellow and a orange and pink, and then it does something like that. So you've got all these colorways. So this is basically where I'm at. I've got so far one matching pair right here. This is what I consider a matching pair. They look very similar, if you could see that. There you go. And these three. Okay. So they're all a little different, these. So I'm trying to find a mate. That's the quest I'm on, the mate. When you get the variegated yarn, you don't know where it starts and you don't know where it's going to end, and it usually how long the colorway run is through there, the variegation, whatever, you never know. So I'm on another, I'm doing another one, and I think I probably can get maybe this one and maybe one more glove out of this, and then that would be it. So think about it. You're getting three pairs of gloves for $3.99 is pretty good with beautiful premium yarn. I can't implore I can't implore anymore how wonderful it is to work with a yarn that feels nice while you're knitting it, as opposed to some of the more inexpensive acrylics that are a little stiff and scratchy, and some of them don't improve with washing. So just be careful with that. This is really inexpensive stuff, and it is wonderful. So they also have a little sparkle line, Hobby Lobby, and they had this cool pink, and I love it. So I made a little pink pair of fingerless gloves, and like I said, I'm going to be listing these on eBay, and a portion will go to Rug Aid, Heather Ritchie's charity to help those in Africa, men with river blindness. Okay, so that's where I'm at. I've been knitting and enjoying it, and I've also just been thinking about yarn and why do we like yarn so much? Or those of us who are drawn to any craft that is creative craft with yarn. I don't know what it is. I just thought maybe if anybody else knows why they are so attracted to yarn and love it, and just share, leave a comment, and just say what joy it brings to you while you're working with it. I mean, I get excited just even going to the stores to look. So again, it's the process. You know, I remember the process of going to get wool at the thrift stores and coming home and washing it. Just the excitement of seeing all these colors of wool and what they could be turned into. I guess, you know, could that be it for yarn also, that we see all this yarn and we just think, you know, what color combinations can we knit this into or hook it into, because I love hooking with my wool yarn too. So after this, I'm going to go back to my wool yarn and pull out. I have a lot of colors that are just sitting there, and they're variegated and they're beautiful. Some are from Violet Jane, and many of them are from Seal Harbor Rug Yarn. So and they're expanding their variegated line. So yeah, and give them a call. Melina's very nice, and if you are looking for a certain type of variegation, you know, mention it to her. She might very well go in that direction for you and get something interesting for us yarn loving rug hookers out there to add to our stash of our palette. I like to think knitters have stashes, and I guess we have wool stashes, but I like to look at them more as we do painting with wool. Knitters create with wool their clothing and sew with wool, that sort of thing. We create a clothing or something, but we do something a little different. So it's a palette of wool that we need to have, just like a painter has all those colors. So basically, that's where we're at today. I don't have much more to add, but as soon as I do, I just wanted to touch base and put that thought out there of why we love yarn so much. So those of you who are just joining me, welcome, and those of you who are returning, thanks for joining me again today, and I will see you soon. Happy hooking and happy knitting.